Twins of Reddit, what is your most awkward, awesome, wrong twin story? Identical twin here attending the same college as my twin brother. I was walking with my girlfriend at the time during my freshman year, and another girl approached me and said, "Oh, so this is why you didn't want to call me back." I didn't know this girl, but it also didn't register at the time that she was referring to my twin, who I assume ghosted her. I told this girl she must be mistaken, and she says, "No, I know it's you, we met in the dorms," and then it clicked for me. So I explained that she was confusing me for my twin brother, but the most awkward part is that she didn't believe a word I was saying and thought I was just using the twin story to try to get rid of her. I had her call me at the time and show her that my phone wasn't ringing and that she was calling my twin. My girlfriend was upset at first, but then basically realized the humor in the situation as it was unfolding. You really gotta just have a few photos of you and your twin on your phone with quick access. That would be a lot easier than having them call the phone number. Although the number is good too. Had a buddy from the skate park who had a twin. This guy and I would always shit talk each other. One day I see him and walk up to him. "What's up, dipshit? The fuck you dressed like that for? It's not gonna make your busted ass skate any better." "Excuse me? You go deaf too, dumbass?" He gets in my face and starts asking what my problem is. I'm laughing the entire time thinking we're playing a game, until he shoves me hard. I fall backwards and look at him and yell, "Sean! The fuck, man?" His face completely changed. "I'm Shane, dude. Sean's twin. I didn't know he had a twin." Next time I see Sean, he cracks up. "Heard my brother almost beat your ass." I honestly hate when parents decide to name their twins nearly the same name. Why would you go out of your way to make things even more confusing? My example for this would be twin girls I went to high school with. Their names were Cheryl and Chanel. They were perpetually getting confused for one another. This was my dad's story, but he and my uncle look exactly alike, to the point where their wives of 2+ decades have confused them. When they were in college, my dad was the lead in a show, and my uncle came to see it opening night. My uncle saw his chance and, while my dad was in the bathroom, burst through the curtains and said, "That's it. I've had it. I can't work with these people anymore," and stormed off. The director was basically shitting himself. Nobody knew that my dad had a twin until my dad came back and, once he saw everyone's faces, basically said, "Yeah, my twin is coming tonight. He messed with y'all, right?" A girl I went to college with did that inadvertently for a show. She showed up backstage with radically different hair, much shorter, and pink, when her hair needed to be a certain length and a normal color for the period piece we were doing. Given the topic of this thread, you can obviously guess why. But until the real actress showed up, we were all solidly shitting ourselves and wondering if we could find a wig that would work on short notice. My grandparents were getting us ready for kindergarten. They put the wrong name tags on us, but we did not notice. I was just sitting in class and all of a sudden the teacher goes, "My brother's name, you're in the wrong class." We had different teachers. She brings me to my brother's classroom and takes him to hers. I was so scared I didn't say anything, and I felt like I did something wrong. After a few minutes I was so freaked out about being in an unfamiliar place and seeing all the strange faces I started crying. My brother's kindergarten teacher figured out what was wrong and sent us back to our real classrooms. My twin had recently joined the Navy and was at boot camp. I, on the other hand, was walking around the grocery store when a man came running up to me in a panic. He began to shout, "What in the hell are you doing here? You're going to go to federal prison!" A bit shocked, I assumed it was just some crazy person, and started to back away, but he followed. So I said, "Sir, I don't know what you're talking about." He then proceeded to say my twin's name, and then I started laughing. He, still very panicked and now angry, asked why I thought this was funny. I explained I am such and such's twin. He didn't believe me until I finally pulled my ID out to prove I was who I said I was. He then apologized and explained he was her enlisting officer and was very concerned when he saw me. I dated a girl whose twin was a life drawing model on campus. Guys were always approaching her when they mistook her and assumed that since they had seen her nude, she was easy. My roommate and I were models for our figure drawing class. It made talking to the girls in the class difficult. It was hard to tell if they were hitting on us or not, so after the first few classes we basically made an agreement to not try to make anything happen ever with any of the girls. It was interesting to see though how each individual perceived me. It was also rather funny that I was supposed to undress behind a curtain, only to walk out naked. I'm a teacher, and when I was student teaching there were twin girls. They were super cute and very hard to tell apart. I finally got to the point where I could tell which was which. One morning I confidently called them by their names. But they corrected me. I made note of what they were wearing and kept them straight the rest of the morning. While we were going over our lessons and I call on twin A, she began to cry and said, "I'm not twin A, I'm twin B." They decided that they were going to switch on us that morning, but then got upset when we called them the wrong name. We laughed so hard about it after the fact, and their mom was appalled that they were already switching places in kindergarten. When I was teaching, we had a pair of twins who were the most identical I'd ever seen. One had a tiny freckle under her eye and the other didn't, and that was the only way anyone could tell them apart. So their mom got them hair bows with their names monogrammed on, and then frequently put the wrong bow on the girls' heads. Teeth are usually the best thing to focus on to tell twins apart. Even though their genetics are identical, teeth grow slightly differently. Pro tip: if someone has a twin, memorize their dental records and yank their mouth open to inspect their teeth when making sure you're talking to the correct one. I'm the brother of older, identical twins, and during the eldest's wedding, J, his twin, P, and myself were his groomsmen. As part of this, we were greeting guests as they arrived, shaking their hands and saying welcome, etc. It didn't take long for guests to start congratulating P on his wedding, causing him to laugh and correct them, at first. A lot of Jay's wife's family were from overseas, so they certainly hadn't met P before and may not have even known that Jay had a twin, so once they started arriving, it became a constant stream of people congratulating P on his wedding. Eventually he stopped correcting them, and just slightly awkwardly saying, "Thanks. I'm not a twin, but I'm dating one." I came up behind my girlfriend's sister and smacked her ass. They share clothes sometimes and look exactly alike, especially from behind. It was so awkward that I have to say my girlfriend's name to confirm it's really her. Dated a twin at uni. We had this lit thing where I would kinda tap his crotch as a "I'm going to play with that later," or in the kitchen of his mom's house over holiday. He walks in and I do the tap and wink while passing. Then I see my boyfriend laughing. I had smacked his brother's balls. I wanted to die. Don't feel bad, my husband did this to my twin while I was standing in front of them. My twin, and I thought it was freaking hysterical because my husband's face just went white as soon as he realized he got the wrong twin. Poor thing, in fairness, he did just work a 12 hours third shift, so he was pretty tired. I've got a twin who works at Starbucks. I always get an employee discount. Had a coworker who had kids 5 years before his twin. He started looking so much older, people just assumed he was an older brother. Guys at the gym would come up to him thinking he was the other brother and tell Hook he looked like shit. Other way around too, guys would come up to his brother and tell him he looked great thinking it was my friend. The difference was crazy. My sister worked at Walmart for a few weeks before I started working there too. We had a few fun moments. The first one was my first day. She had an earlier shift, and just as I was going to go in the back door, she was coming out. So no one knew she was a twin, and here was an identical person trying to go through the door at the same time. Without think, I yelled, "We are never supposed to be in the same place at the same time." Then I ran away. Everyone was freaked out. We were in middle school, was on the school bus, and heard someone call my twin brother's name, Jay. I turn and see his girlfriend extremely upset, and she slaps me right across the face. I was just dumbfounded and didn't say a word as she walked away. I passed the message along to him later with a much harder slap. Good times. This isn't the wrong twin story you probably meant, but it's mine. So my twin and I are fraternal. We don't look alike at all. He's a guy. I'm a girl, so there is that too. So we are at an arcade place. They have laser tag. My brothers and I are waiting on a bench for our turn when a couple comes walking by, stops and asks, "Are you guys twins?" I jump up excited saying yes. Finally someone realizes we are twins. How awesome. Their faces are completely blank. My twin goes, "No, I think they meant me and younger brother." So like I said, we don't look anything alike. Also, I'm 165 centimeters and my twin is 185 centimeters. Lots of times people ask, are y'all actually related? So that's my wrong twin story. So I have a twin sister, let's call her K, and K is engaged to T. One night I went on a Tinder date to the movies. Throughout the movie, this guy and I were getting close and snuggly, and whatnot. The next day, a server at the restaurant he owns asked to talk to him. She proceeded to tell him she saw his girlfriend Kay at the movies last night with another guy, and that she thinks Kay is cheating. He told her that was impossible as Kay was with him all night the night before. He then realized that she must have seen me at the movies and explained to the waitress the whole twin situation. It's one of my favorite stories to tell. Not me, but I'm best friends with identical twins and we hang out a lot. Well, we made plans one time to go see a movie, but when I got there, one of them wasn't there. I thought the one that was there was the one who stayed home the entire time we were together. When we were saying bye, I addressed her as the other one, and she was like, "Bro, what a fact, I'm Emily." I don't think she has ever forgiven me for that. Do you have a similar story? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.